Beth, can you give me 3 predictions for the next 5 years?
I'll give it a shot. I think one of the things that I expect to see happening is a gradual move towards behavioral targeting, which will be assisted by a look at cross-platform behavior. I think that, as media brands and advertiser brands are more clearly defined, we will be finding more direct linkages between the two. And I think that's very exciting, and I think it will help us show advertising effectiveness when we can do that more successfully. My second prediction would be that there'll be an awful lot of things that do not change very much. While we get really excited about things changing, sometimes we get carried away by that, and I still think back to the time 20 years ago when I first got very excited about interactive television. Maybe it was longer than 20 years ago. And I'm still excited about it, but, the timelines for change are often longer than we want to admit. And while I do think some things will change pretty rapidly, I think we have to expect that there's also going to be a lot of things that won't change in 5 years. And I guess my last prediction would be there's going to be something that, this is a little bit of a cheat on a prediction, but something that comes out of left field that none of us have predicted, that's really gonna be exciting and simple for the consumer, and make a difference in behavior, whether it's a mobile device or something in social media. I don't know, I can't point to it, but I think the thing that we all know about predictions is it's the one that comes around the corner that you don't expect, that's always the one that has a really profound impact. And I think in the next 5 years there definitely could be a surprise.
There's certainly been a number of surprises in the past 5 years. And I'm just curious, the future of set-top box data, do you think that it could reach a critical mass in the next 5 years where we might see it as perhaps not a total replacement for panel, but, a close number 2?
I think that there's definitely a possibility that set-top box data will be a part of the equation. I don't know if in that time frame it could ever replace the kind of currency data that we now use. I don't think so. But I think it could certainly supplement it and be very useful in a lot of areas, especially where there's high level of viewing fragmentation.
But where do you think the innovations are coming from? What's driving innovation at this point? Is it cable, broadcast, gaming, broadband? Where would you say?
Well, I think a lot of innovation is technology catching up with what consumers have been looking for in a way that's simple enough for them to really grab onto it. Whether it's an iPhone, whether it's a much simpler, whether it's start over or look back, a simpler model for time shifting. I think that technology is starting to be presented in ways that people can really accept it and begin to use it at a higher rate.
Have you changed or enhanced your research processes to meet the challenges of these innovations? Or do you find that the current ways of doing research work well no matter what? They're evergreen?
I think our research practices are very rigorous and continue to improve. And there's been much more change than certainly in the last few years than there had been long before that. But we still have to make a lot more changes in the way we're we're measuring things. I think that it's in all of our best interest to do that, because I do think I'm a big believer that advertising does work and that people really do enjoy content. And I'm not sure that we have yet found the right ways to show that. So I think we have to keep pushing forward, which is a big reason that a lot of the new industry groups have formed. We all recognize a real need to change, but we want to do it in a way that is meaningful and brings us good information, and that's complicated.